Hi guys, tonight for homework you are going to be looking at the entry in your writer's notebook in which you focused on character development. For this entry, you should have chosen one character from your story to really examine. And if you did that, once you chose that one character, you would try to look at that character on the outside and on the inside. If you're thinking about the outside features of your character, you're imagining if your character is standing there, not saying anything or doing anything, what could someone who has never met them already be able to tell about that character or that person? On the inside, those are the characteristics that a person would have to speak to your character or interact with them or watch them move around in order to understand those things about that character. So you needed to think about the outside and the inside. For my story, I chose my big brother to talk about as my character. And so for the outside characteristics, if I thought about my brother just standing there, hands at his sides, doing absolutely nothing, I know that you guys would be able to tell that at the time of my story, my brother Pat was tall, freckled, he had brown hair, he was really gangly, which means he had long arms and legs and he was really, really skinny, and he was 12 years old at the time. You might not be able to tell that he's 12 years old exactly, but you could probably tell just by looking at him about how old he was. If I think about my brother Pat on the inside, you would have to talk to him and interact with him a little bit to get to know the fact that he's really caring, very energetic and active all the time. He loves Notre Dame football, and he's really inclusive. He includes everyone around him in whatever he's doing at that time. So in your pre-writing, that's what you should have done. You should have chosen your character and then listed about 5 things that someone could tell about your character from the outside, and then about 5 things that someone could tell about your character on the inside. And those 10 things in total are the things that you want to make sure your readers know about that character by the time they finished reading your story. So now here I am looking at my story, and I had my list of 10 things that I wanted to make sure that you knew about my brother Pat. So if we look at my entry, you can already tell at the very start that I am describing someone who is very energetic just by him saying, "Let's go, let's go, let's go," my brother Pat exclaimed. That really shows how excited he is and energetic and active. If you look a little bit further down, I mentioned a detail that says that he bounced in his seat, his skinny arms pushing him up. So in that case, I'm showing that he's really active, that he's excitable, and that he has really skinny arms. So I'm showing you that he's really thin and gangly. Down a little bit further, you will see that I have some dialogue that gives you some information about Pat. So if you read this, it says, "I'm just so excited to get to Notre Dame," Pat smiled. That's telling you that he loves Notre Dame. And then I have this detail, his freckle-filled cheeks grinning wide. So there I show you that he has freckles. 12 years old, I'm showing you that he's 12, tall, skinny, and energetic. I tell you 3 things right there. He loved Notre Dame football more than anything else. That was one thing that I wanted to make sure my readers knew, so I can underline that as well. If I look onto the back page of my story, down toward the bottom, I have me whining, of course, because I'm ever so hungry in my story at 10 years old. And my brother responds by looking over at me and smiling and asking if I want to play a game. So in that detail, without telling my readers directly, I'm showing them that my brother is really inclusive and he wanted to cheer me up, and he cared about the fact that I was in a rotten mood, and so he was trying to make me happier by engaging with me and playing a game. So this is what you guys are going to do for homework tonight. You are going to look back in your story with a yellow highlighter, and you are going to find out whether or not you have included 5 outside characteristics about or details about your character and 5 inside details about your character. If you have all 10 in total of those, then you are all set. All you need to do is make sure that you've highlighted those 5 outside and 5 inside characteristics. You cannot have 6 internal characteristics and 4 outside. You need to make sure that you have 5 of each, okay? Once you've done that, then if you have those 10, then your homework is all done. If, however, you realize, oh no, I missed one outside characteristic or I missed one inside characteristic, after you've highlighted those that you do have, you need to go back into your writing and add your characteristics in so that you make sure that you have all 10 of those characteristics about your chosen person in your story. So I noticed about my story that I never told you that my brother had brown hair, even though that was on my list of things to tell you. So if I look back at my story on my first page, I might decide that I am going to add in, I need to do surgery on my story, I need to operate on it. So I'm going to add in that detail right here. You'll notice I put a number 1 with a circle in it right in between the 2 words that I wanted to insert or do this incision in. So I put my number 1 right there, and then I'm going to go on to the next blank page of my story. And I'm going to put a number 1 with a circle in it below it. I'm pretending that this is my notebook paper right here. And I might say, my sentence before that reads, he peered out the window of our gray Suburban. And I might put a comma there and say, his brown hair shining in the sunlight. And then my story would continue right up by my number 1, right up there, and right here. And then it would read, he peered out the window of our gray Suburban, his brown hair shining in the sunlight, and bounced in his seat, his skinny arms pushing him up. So you'll see that I added that detail in there. All right, I'm going to give you the password for tonight. I want everyone to write it somewhere on their character development entry. The password is pickle, because I love pickles. So that's our password for tonight. Make sure to write that somewhere on your entry for your teacher to see. I hope everybody has a wonderful night, and we will see you guys tomorrow.